The dictatorial pronouncement on the removal of subsidy by President Bola Ahmed Tinibu, whose ascension to power awaits confirmation by the court, is a credible specimen in the scholarly hall of politics and governance. Was it designed to inject more suffering into the Nigerian mass in order to break whatever remains of the bony courage sat trembling on the cold floor, grounded by the fear of Professor Yakub Mahmoud, perpetrated his evil at the International Conference Center, Abuja? Or to woo lieutenants of the struggle for a new Nigeria forced to their knees by a regime of hardship, draining the pool of reason with the realities of the dealings in the petroleum industry run by an evil cabal whose sole ambition is endless milking profits from the suffering of Nigerians, drowning descendant voices wherever suits their will. And what you have is a nation gasping for life.
Take for instance, Nigeria were to exist under Europe as a country, standing as an entity of itself. Nigeria would have been one of the world powers existent now alongside countries like China, Germany, France and Switzerland. But unfortunately, Nigeria is situated in Africa, which we do not regret. But at this time, Nigeria is marred by a high level of impunity, lack of developmental governance, and a high degree of corruption has eaten up the polity and the peripheral system in and amidst the face and amidst the presence of the inhabitants of this country. My name is Angel. Welcome to Nation's Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. First on my update, I have a very disturbing video here of few Nigerians that have taken to the social media and have taken to organize press conferences to actually voice out their minds on the occurrences, especially in this incoming government, which seems to have dented all hopes Nigerians have had in a stable governance. The Free Nigerian movement, the same group that have been famous for staging frequent protests during the court sessions at the ongoing Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal and during the build-up to the pre-hearing sessions at the Court of Appeal, have come once more to grant a press conference, this time around protesting over the removal of fuel subsidy by the new President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinibu. Now, the group really poured out their grief during this press conference and hereby directed the president, whose legitimacy is still being challenged in court, to please do the needful and do this. I wouldn't like to say much what they said, but this particular group, especially from their spokesperson, said lots of things, and they had the mind and the challenge and the guts and the gusto to actually challenge the sitting president, which I actually applaud. I wouldn't like to say much of what they said, but I would just allow you watch this video so you would actually make your own view and comments on what you feel this particular group is talking about, because I feel they have really brought out the minds of Nigerians bare. They are really come out to actually make known to the general public what Nigerians ought to say. Nobody has come out to say how painful Nigerians feel over the recent removal of fuel subsidy and so on. Watch this group called the New Nigerian Movement.
The dictatorial pronouncement on the removal of subsidy by President Bola Ahmed Tinibu, whose ascension to power awaits confirmation by the court, is a credible specimen in the scholarly hall of politics and governance. The rush by his mouthpieces to explain a clear and ambiguous statement to a deeply traumatized citizenry will make a poor reference material in damage control. 3 days later, we are here gasping for meaning, trying to convince ourselves that the purpose of government is to inspire people, to chart paths to dreams and aspirations, to create a safe, habitable environment for equal access to opportunities and more. While we understand the need to bring the criminal regime of subsidy to a close, we do not understand the urgency of his pronouncement, given that a prior arrangement by the President Muhammadu Buhari administration set the withdrawal of subsidy for June 2023. They hurry without any consideration of what cushioning mechanisms will be put in place to lessen the agony of our vast poor demography is most worrisome. We therefore are curious, like many Nigerians, of what the intention of the pronouncement was. Was it designed to inject more suffering into the Nigerian mass in order to break whatever remains of the bony courage sat trembling on the cold floor, grounded by the fear of Professor Yakub Mahmood, perpetrated his evil at the International Conference Center, Abuja? Or to woo lieutenants of the struggle for a new Nigeria forced to their knees by a regime of hardship draining the pool of reason? It is evident that when subsidy became a national reality in the mid and late 70s, it was not an invention of poor people of Nigeria. And when our refineries collapsed, it was not the poor who approved the funds for their rehabilitation. Till date, subsidy greases the livelihood of the elite to deepen their hold on the petroleum branch of our natural resources. It is true that Nigerians are yet to fully acquaint with the realities of the dealings in the petroleum industry run by an evil cabal whose sole ambition is endless milking profits from the suffering of Nigerians, drowning dissenting voices wherever suits their will. The president, whose ascension to power awaits confirmation by the courts, has by this pronouncement inspired long-standing greed in the petroleum industry, with the NNPC Limited shamelessly leading the way by its immediate release of upward reviewed pump price of between 488 and 557 in the nearly 200 nationwide hike. An uncharitable move given the enormity of anguish experienced by Nigerians during the current crunch of the Naira redesign policy barely 3 months ago. Add this to the trauma of Professor Yakub Mahmood and INEC's misappropriation of public trust, and what you have is a nation gasping for life. Neither the president, the vice president, the Senate president, the Speaker of House of Representatives, the governors, their aides, and the federal, state, and local government functionaries, nor their family members will directly be impacted by this unfortunate pronouncement, as they have privileges which neither you nor we enjoy. Those arguing that the president is immune from blame for the behavior of operators in the petroleum industry following his pronouncement have more to learn about leadership and inspiration. Or should we say inducement? This merchants of lies and deceit will stop at nothing to offer their heads to the sharing blade of shame. They may wish to tell us where fuel pump price sat in the hours prior to the pronouncement of May 29, or how much indifferent lift was that pronouncement onto the grounds at Eagle Square, to the residents of Abuja, and in the airwaves, posts and tweets to the rest of the country. We cannot continue to pretend that we are a strong people, when in fact we are dying in droves from depression and desperation. Nigerians are among the saddest people in the world today.
Okay, you've heard it all from that group called the New Nigerian Movement. If you have forgotten, let me refresh your minds on who this group is, or who this group are actually. Now, during the days that preceded or that came after the collation and the dubious announcement of electoral results from the just concluded elections by Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission. Few days later, a particular group frequented the front office of the ECOWAS, that is the Economic Community of West African States in Abuja. This particular group couldn't back down. They kept on frequenting a visit to the ECOWAS office until they finally made a move out of the box and visited the secretary to the ECOWAS office and his residence in Abuja, where they actually made their own grievances known to the general public and stated, among which was the fact that Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, the chairman of the INEC, to reverse his announcement of then Asiwaju, the president-elect, as the president who emerged victorious at the presidential polls. Now, forward to many days later, during court hearings at the Court of Appeal, this same group have come out to stage countless protests in front of the Court of Appeal, with the sole aim of instilling the judiciary with a sort of mindset to enact justice and not submerge it. Now, on forward to today, I have brought you a report that this particular same group have really come out to speak on behalf of Nigerians on the just removed fuel subsidy on petroleum. My take is this: President Asiwaju hasn't really taken into consideration the welfare of Nigerians over time by abruptly, yes, I'm going to use that word, abruptly, because he didn't really weigh the pros and the cons before he took out the fuel subsidy off petroleum. We all know that this particular month, being June, has been paid for. Yes, the fuel subsidy is ranging to billions and trillions of Nigerian naira, say billions of dollars, okay? But it doesn't really mean we should abruptly go into it. This is an economic crunch, I beg your pardon, that actually has Nigerians running helter-skelter. What will the blind do? What will the disabled do? What will the unemployed do? What will the children do? Pregnant mothers, sick parents, and so on and so forth. I would say that the impact of the abrupt removal of fuel subsidy can actually impact in Nigeria, especially on the youths, by number one, a mother of hope in Nigerians. I would say that with my whole strength. And then secondly, I would say it has ended up skinning and stripping hope in an anticipated stable governance that Nigerians had. Thirdly, I will tell you that the removal of fuel subsidy has drowned the reasoning of Nigerians, and it has murdered the dream of many Nigerian youths staying here and going abroad. Finally, President Asiwaju, by abruptly removing the fuel subsidy, has perished ingenuity, which I think should be addressed with quick effect. That is that on that update. I have something different this time around. I wouldn't back down, of course, bringing you more updates. In fact, from the most secret places you have never imagined. Stay tuned. Yes, in the wake of that, Senator Lee Dagogo Maiba, a former senator representing Rivers State Southeast constituency, has come out to expose former Governor Nyesom Wike. This particular expose is from the inner caucus of Rivers State. Of course, only those in the Rivers State Governing Council and members of the Rivers State Elders in Council will know the details to this particular secret. But trust Nation's Voice Tower, we brought you the secret straight and direct. Now, let me break the ice, okay? Now, Senator Lee Dagogo has been a senator right from 2003. That's under the government of Olusegun Obasanjo. He has been a senator right from that time to sometime in 2007, where he stepped down and so on. He was formerly a member of the Pan-African movement and so on and so forth. So, in Rivers State, he is a voice to reckon with. Now, this secret exposed by Senator Lee Dagogo Maiba has really shaken the political system and the social media. All right, now let me give it straight to you. He actually came out to reiterate what Wike said about his leaving office after his handover on 29th day of May 2023. Now, Wike said if by any chance, he threatened, let me not say he said, Wike threatened that if by any chance anyone in the incoming government, that is, I'm talking about the government of Sim Fubara, the new governor of Rivers State, he said if by chance anybody in this government makes nuisance of him or undermines his capability or his jurisdictional stability in the present government, that he would not really stop at anywhere to threaten and let fire, thunder, and brimstone loose in Rivers State. He even reiterated and linked his situation to a former governor of Rivers State, which you all will be shocked to hear. Without wasting much of your time, let me allow you to listen to Senator Lee Dagogo Maiba while he was speaking to newsmen. Stay tuned.
That thing he will collapse the whole system. If they do to him what they did to Dili, he will collapse the system and everybody will go home. That is the fear here.
All right, welcome back. That was a short clip there, but quite important because you listened and you heard the most important part in what Senator Lee Ledogo Maeba said in that. The truth is, Wike, one of his chieftains, let me start from the roots. One of his chieftains came out a few weeks ago. I brought you an update on that on African Central or News Central, the TV platform, to actually lay bare the different fears of Nyesom Wike while he was leaving office. He said, I quote, that Wike is afraid to leave office because of what might happen to him after he leaves office. He's afraid to take his hands off power because, yes, Wike has stepped on lots of toes, okay? And so Wike is running helter-skelter to find a sort of succor and a jurisdictional power to hinge his own or to lean his own fear on, so he would not be a victim of circumstance. That is what I think. So if Wike would threaten thunder and brimstone in Rivers State, Wike is not the first governor of Rivers State, neither is it the second, third, or fourth, okay? Wike is just one of the governors of Rivers State, okay? Now, if you're talking about powers in Rivers State, you talk of Peter Odili. Peter Odili was a power, okay? And you talk of Rotimi Amechi, he was a power. But Wike, I can't see Wike coming forth, even politically. Forget that he has made the rounds recently on the news, recently on Twitter, recently because of the G5 factional thing and so on and so forth. Wike can just be like any other Celestine Omehia that ruled over Rivers for 6 months, okay? That is what I would term Wike as, because we are yet to see the political strings Wike could pull in Nigeria. Wike lost the vice presidential ticket to Ifeanyi Okowa, who is just a novice in Nigerian politics. So I can't see Wike making threats that would come through, okay? But with this statement, we'll keep our fingers crossed and see if, of course, the sitting governor, Sim Fubara, is like a loyal boy to him. So we will see how he would govern Rivers State from the armchair or from the background. Lastly, on my update, I have still on Nyesom Wike. He has actually made the rounds and the news recently with his different visits and political movements. Now, the former governor of Rivers State actually visited the incoming President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinibu in company of his friend and colleague Seyi Makinde of Oyo State. Now, these two were reported to have visited the president in the afternoon hours of yesterday, Friday, the 2nd day of June 2023, where they held a closed-door meeting for no less than 2 hours, according to sources, okay? Now, however, after the long meeting, Wike and his counterpart Seyi Makinde of Oyo State were intercepted by journalists to inquire the details of the secret meeting held behind closed doors with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinibu, the president of Nigeria. Wike replied surprisingly. His reply is going to make you or he's going to make fears run down your spine. Wike replied surprisingly to newsmen that they are all Nigerians, according to Wike, and as his colleague Seyi Makinde had said, they only came to support the president, and that their coming here has nothing to do with any political occurrence or political intervention, and there is no thereby or hereby big deal about it. Now, without wasting much of your time, before I give you the reactions that has trailed this particular short video clip, let me allow you watch from our own cutaway, so you will see and hear what Wike said from him directly. Stay tuned.
See. So what was the conversation about? It's been over 2 hours.
The conversation with the president? Yes. Well, I mean, he has a country to run, and then for us, we have to support him, and we have to let him know that he has started well, and he has the support of the generality of the people.
Did you discuss the issue of fuel subsidies?
Yes, we discussed it. It's something that is you know, on top of the public discourse right now. And yeah, we know it's a tough decision for the people, and it needs the support of everybody to see this through.
So what about the ministerial list? We understand one of you has been appointed.
Who is that? Nobody's been
No
appointed.
information about that?
No.
Any plan to switch over to APC?
No plan?
No plan.
No plan?
Never to be in the office at
So
all.
this is just a thank you or welcome visit?
We are Nigerians. The governor has told you we are Nigerians and we have come to give you support. That's what's required. So there's no big deal about it. The governor has told you what to do. Yes, sir. To give you support.
Alright, and welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is still Nation's Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel, that hub that brings you lots of news on the polity, that hub that keeps you updated on the political system and the shaky democratic system in Nigeria, that hub that makes you know which way the polity is going, what path the breeze of the economy is trying to drive us in, and at what level we are in convergence and competition with other African countries, hence the name of Nigeria that has existed over time without a reputation, the giants of Africa. Welcome back. Yes, let me give you an overview. Lots of Nigerians have reacted indeed to the visit of Nyesom Wike and Seyi Makinde. Now recall that Nyesom Wike and Seyi Makinde belong to the G5 factional governors that were actually adamant on having Atiku Abubakar as their principal and presidential candidate under their own party, the PDP. The G5, headed by Nyesom Wike too, opted and made positive moves for the suspension and subsequent expulsion of Iochia Ayu, the former national chairman of the PDP. Now, this particular G5 have also made the rounds in publicly coming out to announce or to pitch tents with the APC by opting for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinibu as their own preferred presidential candidate, alongside other governors, apart from Samuel Otom of Benue State, who opted for Peter Obi. So if you ask me, I will tell you this visit was not just about saying hi. It was not just about paying a solidarity visit, but it was all about intervention. It was all about calling favors. It was all about being in the good books of the APC. It was all about a sort of reminder of a gratitude from APC as a result of a job well done during the just concluded presidential elections. That is my take. So if you want to confirm this, let's keep our fingers crossed. Wike will be given a position in this government, and I wouldn't be surprised. That's what I think, because this particular visit, come on, you should not be the first governors or formal governors and standing or sitting governors to go and visit the president. What does that mean? Okay, there are other parties. Of course, we know that yesterday Asiwaju met with all governors of the APC. All right, so allow Asiwaju to call the governors of the PDP, because he must recognize or the governors of other parties, because he is running a government for all. And for God's sake, this is democracy, government for the people, by the people, and with the people. Okay, so you can't really say you will sideline the PDP governors and other party governors. All right, so this visit was not personal, although personal, but it was with the main aim of calling favors from Asiwaju. Remember the statement made by Wike when Asiwaju came to commission few flyovers, especially the one at Obiapo in River State. He said if Asiwaju would return some money that he used to construct lots of flyovers in the country, and then Asiwaju replied him, the roads are your own and then the flyovers are your own, so I owe you nothing. That has been the link between these two, and something intriguing is coming up the blocks. Stay tuned. So thanks for joining us. I would love you to keep a date with us later on with my next video. See you next time. Bye.